Hey guys, Viggoman here and welcome back to another episode from Lunden. Today we are finishing off every single house for the center of this town here, which includes a bathhouse, which is really important for the dirty and stinking sailors that come in here. Then we do a blacksmith and a brewery, which is also important. All of that kind of just brings the entire town of Lunden together. We're also adding a little bit of miscellaneous stuff surrounding the town here. We're doing a little bit of farms just to do some testing, and then just decorating the paths, adding some bridges, some stables, storage units and stuff like that, all just to make it feel like this place is alive and that people are actually living here. And as always, I'll kindly ask you to hit that like button if you enjoy my content, and please consider subscribing. It's the best way of showing support to what I do. I do spend a lot of hours on every single episode here, and I would really appreciate if you want to show me the support. By showing support, you're actually telling the YouTube algorithm that my content is pretty good, that you like it, and then maybe YouTube should try and recommend it to more people. And by that, we might even grow the channel a little bit, which is just awesome. You can't really complain about that. Back to the buildings for today. We have the bathhouse, which I've already showed you in the time lapse here, which is built alongside the river, and then behind that we're building a brewery, which is also placed alongside the river, where we're gonna have some fresh water just taken in and making the brew, and then making the beer and then storing it in a separate building, and then they're gonna be transported into the town. And then we're also doing, as I said, blacksmith, which is pretty awesome. It's going to be making probably like nails and tools and stuff for the fishermen to actually do their work. And then lastly, we're adding a couple of farms here. The next episode is going to be mostly about farms, but I just wanted to do a little bit more for today's episode, and also just test out what's the best way of doing this on a larger scale. And with all of that being said, let's finish off the time lapse and go into this first person point of view section. I'm just gonna start with an aerial view of this place here. I'm digging it, I'm loving the way that this is turning out, and especially now that we have the farms, it kind of feels tied into the surrounding landscape here as well. We can see the brewery is a little bit up here, a little bit stretched from the town, just because I kind of wanted to have a little bit of a fresher water here. The water is coming from the mountains and then down here, and as you move towards the water would probably or towards the sea, the water would probably be more salty, less fresh, probably dirtier from all the clothes and stuff being washed in it. So building the brewery a little bit upstream just makes sense. And then we have the bathhouse here, which is looking awesome. This is such a cute building. I really like it. And then in the back here we have the blacksmith, and then surrounding that, we just kind of finish off the path a little bit, and this is going to then lead up to the hill here where the castle is going to be built. Here we have a couple of, it's just like sheds and stuff for storing stuff, all kind of stuff. I'm not really sure who's storing stuff here, but maybe just like community storage, if that makes sense. And then down here we have a little stable. These could be visitors coming in, they could just tie up their horse here. And then, just some details like a cart and stuff like that. I also went in and kind of added something behind this building here. So the first floor is a butcher, but there's an apartment here. So I'm kind of thinking that maybe the guy living, or girl living in the apartment here is a carpenter. So I added a little bit of a carpentry area in the back here, which looks cool. And then eventually the path is going to lead down and connect up to this place here. But I'm going to do all of that once we start adding more of the farms and miscellaneous stuff surrounding this place. So that gave you a quick overview of what we have been building so far. And now let's take you for a detailed tour of this place here. Added this, or finish off this path here, and then we had farms on the right, the river and the houses on the left, and it looks awesome. Here we have a little washing station, so we have some clothes drying here, and then there is this little platform down here, so you can wash your clothes in the river, which is really convenient. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's check out this building here, the bathhouse, shall we? It's really awesome. I love the little painting there. Again, trying to add some colors into this otherwise pale black palette, so that's a really cool way of doing that. So there's this wall here, which takes you into the back here, where we have tents you could bath in, or bathe, I'm not really sure. So this is a design I developed for Rovitz a couple of weeks back, and it works here as well. So there's a little tub in here, you could cover it up and then just bathe in there. Same goes for all of these ones, very similar. And then in the back here we have this house where we'll heat up the water with this furnace thingy here. So you'll heat it up from below here, and then there's a big tank here, and then you put that into the tubs here. There's also a little platform here for fetching the water straight from the river, and maybe you could wash other stuff here, your clothes and stuff, and in the summer maybe just take a quick dip like that. so yeah, very cool. And then just looking over at the other side is just awesome, and that's what I really like about this place, is that it just feels, wherever you look, it feels alive. It feels awesome. Here we have the first floor, which you actually enter from the front here, has a couple of rooms, and it's not really like an inn or a hotel or whatever. It's just like you could rent a bed here, so if you're traveling you could rent a bed, get cleaned up, and then continue traveling. Because as mentioned, this is actually placed on a really important passage in the mountain here, or in the area. So let's go geeky here for a while. This area here, which you can see, is Galia, and Galia is a kingdom which is over here, and then you have Meria, which is the kingdom I'm kind of outlining here. So this passageway here in between the Silver Mountains is really important. So maybe people are traveling from Galia through this passage here, and then stopping by in Lunden, getting some food, cleaned up and all that sort of stuff before continuing towards the capital of Lunden. So yeah, that's that. It's a little sleeping area. We can go upstairs here to the bathhouse keeper. I don't know if that's a title or not. His house up here. So there's a big oven, and then areas to make food and stuff, which is really cool. And then you can continue up here, where we have like the beds and stuff for the family. So all that sort of stuff is up here. And then there's a little attic up here just for storage, all sort of stuff up here. So yeah, that's the bathhouse, which really fits, and it's really important, I think, especially in a place like this, which is kind of relying on, I'm not going to call it tourism because it's not, but there's sailors and people coming here. It's strategically placed alongside an important road, and also a lot of fishermen come in here. So having a place to clean up people would be really important. So yeah, let's take a quick look at the fields here. We have this green field, and we have some wheat, and then we have one of these rotational fields that are not being used at the moment. And then we also have a barley field, which is conveniently placed just alongside the brewery here. So up here we have the brewery. We have this massive old oak tree. And one of the reasons for that is that I didn't really like this battery, or the storage building I built. So I built massive tree to just kind of cover it up a little bit. And then we have, this is like the brewery area. So we have a big kiln on the outside here to heat up the wort, and then you'd mash it here before you put it into this massive fermentation tanks in the back here, so inside the building. So yeah, this is kind of like the fermentation room. Upstairs there's some storage, we have some hops and stuff like that, and then there's a little exit to the back here where they get the water from. So the fresh water is brought from here straight into the brewery, which is awesome. The freshest beer out there. Then we have, the building here for storing it. And this is a little dark. I think you can see it, but let's get some light in here so you can see a little bit more. There we go. So yeah, we're storing barrels and some bottles and stuff in here for aging, which is important. And then we have, a little shed here for whatever you need to run the beer or brewery and the farm, because this is kind of a farm. It has a little bit of a barley field and stuff. Then in here we have an outlet. So this is kind of cool. This is where we buy the brewed stuff, so beer and probably cider and whatever they brew up in here. And you can buy it from here. Of course, it will also be transported into the city or the town. In here we have a kitchen area for the family living here. So that's pretty nice. And then there is of course an upstairs. Here we have this is a dining room, but also an area where you could come in and do some tasting. So let's say a lord or some kind of noble people come in here. They could stop by and kind of get a taste of the different brews before deciding on what they want. And then in the back here we have like the family area, but also the parents' bedroom. So we have this nice bed here, and then a little oven here to heat it up. And then upstairs we have beds for the kids in here, and of course some storage and all that sort of stuff. So that is the brewery, which is really cool. And then there's one more building to check out today. So let's go outside again and move along here. I really love the landscaping here. Again, with the tree, we have a couple of more trees and all that sort of stuff. I also did some landscaping around here. This is essentially what I want to do alongside the entire river here, because for the next episode, as I mentioned, I want to do farms. I'm going to do a farmhouse over there at the pink block, but I also want to terraform the river so that it looks better, because now it's a little wonky. I want to texture it, I want to add these reeds alongside of it, just make it feel alive. So yeah, just giving you an example here of what we're doing in the next episode. Over here we have the blacksmith. So outside we have this massive forge. We have areas to kind of work with all sort of things you do for blacksmith. So we have an anvil here. We have this oil you can dip the stuff in to make it harder. And up in here we have a little roof, so we can kind of work in even rainy days and stuff, or yeah, make stuff. Here we're building a little chain, which is cool. And then this is connected to the street in the back here with a house. So this house has two entrances, which is cool. You have this upper one. So up here, just kind of get straight into this. This is my idea here is that the wife of the smith is also kind of a blacksmith, but she's more like detail oriented. So she is kind of collaborating with his husband, and he is kind of making swords and hammers and all that kind of stuff. And then she's kind of adding the final touch with like detailing. So she's carving them. She's adding nice details to, let's say, swords and also like buttons and stuff for clothing. So she's like the skilled person here, adding like the details, and he is like more of the rough craftsman who just forms them. And then down here we have the kitchen area. So we have a little area here, and then the oven, small sitting area to prepare the food, and then there's some storage below this little platform here. So yeah, that's really cool. If we continue upstairs, we have, whoops, this staircase is a little tricky to walk up, a little dangerous, but yeah, up here we have the family areas as well, of course. So we have the master bedroom, which is pretty cool, just like that, and then a little area for them to sit here in the evenings alone, and some clothing, and yeah, all that sort of stuff for the kind of what you need. Then inside here we have the kids' bedroom. So these beds look awful, but what can you do? It's on a diagonal, so you gotta be a little bit creative with the beds. And then yeah, so they have kind of whatever they need in here. And then we can go upstairs. Here we have more beds for the kids, and also like some storage and all that sort of stuff. And then inside, this is a little weird, need to clean that up. In here we have some storage, like an attic, where we have all sort of stuff for the family, food and clothes and jars, whatever. And that, my friends, is everything for today's episode from Lunden. I am digging this place really much, and I'm really digging that you guys seem to like it as well, which is equally as important, almost at least. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Really do hope that you enjoyed. If so, make sure to smack that like button, and if you haven't done it already, make sure to subscribe. It's been Viggoman, and I'm out.